Well, hey there, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Eric Thompson. I'm with Windermere Real Estate here in Colorado. I am your host for this little lesson I call Unstuck. This is for my fellow brokerage owners and managers. So if you're someone who finds yourself managing realtors, if you oversee realtors, if you're a sales coach for them, if you're someone who mentors them and you're there to help them be more successful, this video is exactly for you. This video is made to help you out, to give you some great takeaways so you can help them become unstuck, all right? So just real quick before we dive in, if it's okay with you, I want to show you just a little bit about our company, Windermere Real Estate. You may have heard of us already. We are growing all across Colorado. We are located in those states all over the western U.S. We have 6,000 agents and 300 offices, and today we have 7 offices all up and down the Front Range, and we are growing even more across Colorado. We're super excited about our growth. And let's dive in, all right? So let's dive in. Again, this is going to be for all my fellow owners and managers out there. I want to help you out. I want to ask you this question as we embark into this lesson here. I want to ask you this question. So do agents ever get stuck? Do you ever see an agent getting stuck, getting bogged down like that truck, stuck in the mud, kind of getting into a swirl? They hit a bad spot where they don't have things happening. So do agents ever get stuck? Well, only all the time, right? Only all the time is the reality. Even the best of the best sometimes find themselves stuck in the mud. So you know what? Let's help them out. Let's help them get unstuck. And the reality is when they're stuck, it can become a vicious cycle, right? It can become a vicious cycle. All at once things aren't happening so great for them. Then they stop showing up to the office. They stop engaging with their clients. They stop engaging with other people. They're becoming more withdrawn. They start to buy into their lack of success, and they start into this downward spiral, right? So it can be a really vicious cycle. So it's up to us to snap them out of that cycle. It's up to us to get them unstuck. Us as their manager, as the owner, as their coach, as their mentor, let's go help them out. Let's get them unstuck. I'm going to show you how exactly to do that. I'm going to show you some things that work for me in my office and the people that I coach and the people that I work with. And the people that I have worked with over the years during my career here in real estate in Colorado. All right, so what we're going to cover today as we talk about getting unstuck is I'm going to show you some strategies that absolutely work. I'll give you some specific things to say, some specific dialogues. You can just repeat it word for word, and that will work for you. I'm also going to show you how you can get some additional help from me, some things that we just don't have time to cover today, but some things I can get in your hands. And you know what? I bet you didn't expect this. We're going to start with a physics lesson. Can you believe that? Here you are watching this realtor video produced by CAR, and you're even going to get a physics lesson as a bonus. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that cool? Okay, so let's start with the physics lesson. I'm going to show you why it's relevant to this conversation, okay? So the physics lesson is Newton's first law. So Newton, I'm sure you remember, you've heard about Sir Isaac Newton. You heard about Sir Isaac Newton in school. You may remember that he had several laws. This is Newton's first law. Okay, so Newton's first law, which absolutely applies to agents who get stuck. Newton's first law says this: a body at rest will tend to stay at rest until an outside force acts upon it. And then a body in motion will tend to stay in motion. So to make this point, to illustrate this, we can use the example of a hockey puck. So imagine there's a hockey puck sitting there on the ice at the Pepsi Center. It's going to sit there on the ice until an outside force acts upon it. So what might that be? Well, it's most likely going to be a stick, right? So a stick is going to come along and hit that puck. It's going to put that puck into motion, and that puck will stay in motion until some other force may stop it, right? So it's going to hit the boards and ricochet around, and eventually it may stop. But the point is that puck is going to stay there until an outside force acts upon it. Once the hockey stick hits it, it's going to be in motion. If those boards weren't there, if there was no friction, it would go on forever, right? And then a body in motion will tend to stay in motion. So there the agent is stuck, sitting there on the ice, just like that hockey puck. They will stay that way until an outside force acts upon it. Who's the outside force? Well, guess what? You probably have already guessed it. The outside force is you. The outside force is you, their manager, the owner, their coach, their mentor. The outside force is you. You must act upon that situation to help them get unstuck. No, I'm not implying that you hit them with a stick. What I'm saying is that you must act, you must be the outside force that acts upon them to get them in motion and to get them unstuck. Okay, so that is your physics lesson. That's how it applies to our lesson today. All right, so now let's get in to what works, all right? So oftentimes when I talk to owners and managers, when they tell me about the situation and they want to help out, they want to help their agent, but they just don't know how to start. You say, so Eric, how do I even start this conversation? It's just going to be kind of weird. I feel funny. It's going to be awkward. I don't want it to be uncomfortable for me or for them. So how do we even start? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how to start the conversation. How you start the conversation with someone who you see as stuck, you start by just saying this. You know what? Hey, I wanted to connect with you, but because here's what I noticed. I noticed that things have slowed down for you a little bit. I noticed that you're not coming into the office as much. I noticed that you seem to be a little more disengaged. I noticed that you don't have as many listings as you had last year. I noticed that your business is down a little bit. I noticed that you don't have the same energy that you normally do. Whatever it is that you notice, tell them. Just be totally upfront with them. Tell them what you notice. They will appreciate you calling them out. They'll appreciate that the elephant in the room is being talked about. It will be a relief to them that finally we can discuss this. Finally it can be on the table, because you know what? It's been on their mind. They've been noticing the same thing. So what you do next is you give them the opportunity to mention what is it that they notice. So first you share, well, so here's what I noticed. Don't seem to have the same energy. Your business seems to be down a little bit. Just don't seem to be coming in the office as much. That's what I see. Help me out. Is there anything that you notice? Or another way to say that is, so help me see this from your perspective. You know, I really want to know. I really want to understand it from your point of view, from your eyes. Help me understand what is it that you notice. And that will get them to open up. You've created a really safe environment, and now they have the chance to share what's on their mind and maybe some reasons why they may feel like they're in a funk, okay? So after they've gone through that, then you get to say something like, all right, I've told you what I noticed. You've told me what's on your mind. How about this? How about we work together? What if we work together to get you back to where you need to be, to get you to a higher place, to get you to a better place, to get you out of this little funk that you're in, this little pause that you're going through. Let's get you to a new place. What if we work together to do that? How does that sound? And they will, of course, say yes, because you've built a lot of trust through this relationship, and you've had a great dialogue. Now they've agreed to work together. Now, I'm going to give you some specific strategies. Again, these are things that I've proven to work. These are things that I've used on agents that I work with that, who get stuck. These are things that work within Windermere Real Estate. Let's just roll through these. I think I'm going to show you 4. There are lots more where this came from. I'll show you how to get the lots more, but I'll just give you a few here that I know work. One thing you could do is say, all right, let's do this. Let's just pull your goals back out. Let's go back over your goals that you set at the beginning of the year. Let's just go through those. And to get them to articulate those, to have them in front of their face, to be reminded of what those goals were in the first place, to get them talking about those goals will get them more re-energized. It will connect them back to those goals, and more importantly, why they set them in the first place. And you want them to talk about the why. So tell me, why was this important to you? When you set all these goals, why was it you were going to even do these in the first place? Why did you want to go accomplish these goals? Get them to talk about those specific things. The next thing you could do, you could say, all right, we've gone back over your goals. We agree that you still have the same goals. You still want to accomplish the same things. What's the one thing, you know, if you just had to boil it down to what's the one thing that you could really focus on that would get you to where you want to go, that would make these goals come true? Sure, there's all kinds of different things that you could do, but if you had to boil it down, what would be the one thing? And then you just sit there and you be quiet and you watch them think, and then they're going to come up with a really awesome answer. And the answer will be different for every person, but whatever it is, it's really going to be great. They will identify the one thing, and that can get them out of an overwhelmed state. It can get them focused on just one thing, and one thing is really easy to focus on versus a whole bunch of things. Next thing you do now is you set a very short-term goal. You say, all right, so that's awesome. You've identified that one thing. Maybe the one thing is you're going to commit to doing 2 customer lunches a week for the next month. That's fantastic. Let's do this. Let's set a short-term goal. So if you're doing 2 a week for the next month, that's 8 lunches. Let's set that as a goal. Is that okay? Let's set that as a goal. And by the way, it's much better for you to have goals with them that are activity-based versus results-based. So it's much better to have a goal of doing 8 customer lunches over the next month, or 10 phone calls in a week, or 15 pop-bys in a week, whatever it is. That's a better goal than, let's agree that you're going to go get a listing in the next month or go close 3 transactions in the next 60 days. Have activity-based goals, all right? So set a short-term goal that's very compressed. And another great thing you can do is you can have them buddy up. So get them to buddy up with a mentor, get them into an accountability group, start a monthly coaching group. If you get them in an environment where they're connecting with other people, it's going to help them feel energized. It's going to help get them in motion, all right? So you want to review their goals. You want to identify that one thing that they could focus on, set a short-term goal, follow up on that, make sure that that short-term goal is happening, get them to buddy up. Maybe it's a more experienced, more productive agent in the office who's willing to mentor them, kind of shepherd them, oversee them. Maybe it's a coaching group. Maybe it's someone else who's also kind of in a funk, but they're going to hold each other accountable to take their business to a new level. But there's a lot of power in connecting them with another person, all right? So now we're to, well, how do you finish the conversation? We've talked about specific strategies. They've identified the one thing. We have a game plan. This is how you finish up that conversation. So you say to them, all right, let's pretend we're sitting here a year from now, celebrating your success. We're having a beer together. We're toasting a glass of champagne. We're at coffee together, toasting our coffee cups, whatever it is. We're celebrating your success. Tell me, what is it specifically that we're celebrating? Tell me exactly, what are we celebrating? And they may say, well, it's the fact that I closed a certain amount of transactions, or I got a certain amount of money saved up in the bank, or I got out of debt, or I saved up for my child's college education, or I was able to take a really fantastic vacation I wanted to. Whatever it is, they're going to tell you the one thing that they want to celebrate. And then you get to say to them, now tell me, what is it? Walk me through, pretend we're a year from now. Walk me through, what is it you did to make that happen? So again, it's an opportunity for them to walk through step by step and articulate the actions that they're going to take. And I'll tell you this, they will walk out of your office feeling really motivated, really energized, refocused. They know what their goals are. They know the one thing that they're going to do to make it happen, and they're envisioning a year from now when they're celebrating the success. All right, so that's how you get your agents unstuck. I have a whole checklist of strategies to help you out with this. This is just a little taste of what those things are. If you're an owner-manager who finds yourself sometimes with stuck agents, I can help you out. I have some resources to get in your hands. Again, I have a whole checklist that takes you through a bunch of other things that you can do to help out those agents. Reach out to me. You can see my email there on the screen. It's eric.thompson@windermere.com. Thank you so much for engaging with this video. Again, my fellow owners and managers out there, I wish you nothing but success. Now go out there and help out some agents. Thank you so much for watching the video.